And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're receiving this information. My name is Rafael Vasquez Guzman, and today we wanted to stop here and talk for a minute about the new fees that have been finally being approved as of yesterday, January 31st. And we're only going to focus on DACA, advanced parole, and citizenship, although there is a long list of other fees that have increased, whether it is when you're applying for the first time or for renewal to be a resident. And so we just want to cover the ones that we typically see. Or office, Líderes del Futuro Avanzando, which is an organization in Northern California, does DACA renewals, and we work with advanced parole, and I'll explain how we do it in a minute. We do not work with citizenship, but the only reason we're mentioning it here is because we are now in 2024, and those of you who qualify for citizenship should become a citizen as soon as possible. And the process is not taking that long at this moment. We also want to be clear that this new rule does not go into effect until April 1st, 2024. This, again, for those of you who qualify to become citizens of the United States, any document that you mail before that specific date, you will not have to pay the new fees. And as a result of that, you could save yourself some money, perhaps. And so we want to make sure that we are as transparent. This information just came out, but we want to get it out there, especially because we work with hundreds of DACA recipients and individuals who would benefit from this information. So again, if you're going to do your DACA renewal between now and you're going to postmark that information before April 1st, 2024, you do not have to pay the new fees that we're going to mention in a minute. And that is important. Remember, DACA renewals are still taking between 3 and 4.5 months, sometimes a little bit longer. And there have been complaints to immigration that it's been taking a while longer for DACA renewals, advanced paroles, and other paperwork. And so for DACA renewals in the past, the cost was $85, a check for $85, and another one for $410, which would amount to $495. But now there has been a change. Now one check will be for $85 and the other one will be for $525, which means the work permit has gone up by $115. And so again, if you're going to do your DACA renewal and it expires within the next 6 months, and before, again, if you can mail it out before April 1st, then you will save yourself $115. So that's important for you to know. And remember, typically immigration does not accept DACA renewals if it is 6 months or longer before your application expires. They typically just send you everything back. So again, for those of you who are going to do your renewals, please keep this in mind. And again, our organization, Líderes del Futuro Avanzando, does DACA renewals typically every Saturday by appointment, are starting at about 3 p.m. And again, we do it at our office here in Santa Rosa, California. For those of you who are in Sonoma County or in the surrounding areas, we do the paperwork for free. We do welcome, as a nonprofit, we do welcome donations, but we don't charge for that. And then we prepare the package, we give it back to you, and then you mail it yourself. We don't take responsibility for that. And we also do not cover the fees. We know that in California, until December 31st, there were some nonprofit organizations, some agencies that had funding from the state to be able to cover those fees. Our organization does not have that privilege at this moment. And then for advanced parole, typically the cost is $575. And again, the cost is going to go up to $630. And again, when the government was having these listening opportunities, many people voiced concern for both advanced parole and DACA renewals, that this type of increase would cause hardship for those individuals. And unfortunately, immigration responded that because DACA specifically is not some type of guarantee program, this increase is not taken into consideration. And that's why they refuse to create a possible fee waiver for DACA renewals. And so advanced parole is now going to be starting April 1st at $630. Again, an increase of $55. So for those individuals who are going to travel with us this March, we're going to take 47 people, hopefully, to Mexico City. Our paperwork went out already in November. You are not affected. And for those individuals that we are going to be taking to Mexico City at the end of July, your paperwork needs to be mailed out February 1st. And as a result of, March 1st. And as a result of that, you will not be affected by this change. And so we want to make sure that you know that those opportunities exist. Advanced parole has 3 pieces to it. And we're going to create another video about the specific advanced parole program that we created with Líderes del Futuro and how it works. And that should be available in a week or so. And we'll put information about where you can find our information on our YouTube channel or Instagram, Líderes del Futuro, and other places. But again, for those individuals who are going to mail out their paperwork before April 1st, you will not have to pay the new fee. And it is important also to know that, again, advanced parole paperwork is not done online for people who have DACA. We know that about 3 weeks ago, people were calling and they have been told multiple times for advanced parole as an emergency. They have been told multiple times they needed to submit their documentation online, otherwise they wouldn't qualify for an emergency appointment. And then after advocacy was done, immigration admitted that some of their employees were new and did not know the rules. But again, if you're going to do humanitarian advanced parole, work-related advanced parole, or educational advanced parole before or in the summer maybe, you can submit your paperwork, which is taking about 4.5 months to get it approved. And if you submit it before April 1st, you will be fine. And again, we invite you to check out a video that will be coming out in about a week about the different versions of advanced parole. If you go to our YouTube channel, Líderes del Futuro, there's already an older version there, but in the new version, we're going to explain the program that we, Líderes del Futuro Avanzando, have and has been successful already. In September, again, we took 24 DACA recipients. And then for citizenship, the cost will be different, either $710 for people who submit their application online or $760 for people who submit their application via paper. And this includes the biometrics. And so it's important for you all to understand that. And remember that sometimes there are agencies in your community that are typically nonprofit that might be able to support you with partial or full cost of submitting these applications. Again, we want to make sure that those of you who qualify to become citizens, that you go through the process. It's taking less time than before. And the hope is, and we know that this is happening, where you go to your citizenship appointment, it's an interview, and right as you finish, if you qualify for citizenship, they say, hey, we have an event happening for you to take the oath right now, and then you will be a citizen, and then you immediately can begin the process to vote. So again, keep that in mind. And with that, we want to remind the community that Líderes del Futuro Avanzando is a nonprofit organization in Northern California. And as I mentioned before, we have a program called Sanación y Cultura, Healing and Culture, where we travel to Mexico City and eventually will expand to other states in Mexico. And eventually we hope to other countries in Latin America. And we collaborate with governmental educational programs in Mexico City, which includes the National Institute of Psychiatry, the National Institute of Anthropology, and several other places. Again, very descriptive. A video will come out with more information. On Friday, and this is going to be February 2nd, we are going to do our last orientation for the July trip to Mexico City, which is going to last from July 20th until July 27th. If you want to sign up and you're receiving this information, again, maybe that Friday, please follow the link, sign up. You'll get a link to participate in the orientation. And if you determine that you qualify to participate on this, you will be traveling with us to Mexico City in July of 2024. And then we will begin preparing for our spring 2025, unless our board determines that we need to do one in fall 2024. And with that, we want to thank you for your time. And again, my name is Rafael Vázquez Guzmán. I am the CEO of Líderes del Futuro Avanzando, located in Northern California, specifically in the city of Santa Rosa, California, about an hour north of San Francisco. You can check out our website, lideresdelfuturo.org. The flyer for this event is also located there. And we put positive information because one of our focus is on mental health. And so you can check us out on TikTok, Líderes del Futuro, or you can check us out on Instagram. And again, we invite you to stay in touch. We invite you to stay healthy during these challenging times, especially if you're a member of the undocumented community. The typical election year ideas of being anti-immigrant if you want to be elected are present. So please take care of your mental health. This is why we create programming that is helpful for our undocumented communities. Thank you for your time.